We used to see, like, you know, back then, rock and roll, hard metal bands, and we'd be like, yo, they got tattoos on their face. To us, it was foreign. It was real foreign. Or what they call sleeves, tattoos all down their arms. That was strange to us. Now, because we so much want to be like our oppressor, we so much want to follow after the ways of our captors. Now we got tattoos down our arms and across our chest, you see it, and on our faces. That was never something our people got involved in. Esau been doing that thing for the longest time, right? Hamitic nations have been tattooing themselves for as long as history can tell. And they've been drawing on themselves and burning themselves and marking their skin. All right, even our Elam, the East Indian, have a whole thing of mutilating their bodies with multiple piercings in different places, their backs, their chests, and everything, pierced and everything. Right? These things are of the other nations. They're their customs, not our customs. But we adopt these customs. Let you know we want to pierce things that are not to be pierced. Only part of your body the Bible talks about piercing is what? What two places? The ears and your nose. That's it. Any other piercing is not of Yah. Your eyebrow, your tongue, you know, your chest. You know, these things ain't supposed to be pierced, man. Okay? Well, I mean, I said chest. I think you figured that out. I didn't go into all the details of where on the chest, right? Right. But those piercings are not of Yah. Okay? You know, young ones in school think it's cool or exotic. You know, young ladies will pierce their tongue. Man, that's wicked, man. We ain't supposed to pierce our tongues. Okay? All that is of this world. Okay? We put that behind us. We're not going to get down with that. Don't pierce your lip. Okay? Your ears, your nose, according to scripture, be pierced. Other than that, nowhere else. Cut?
All right, here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power, and Yahweh hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth.
Right.
Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. These are the beasts which ye shall eat.
So that's very clear. He said, thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. Nothing that's an abomination should go into your mouth. Not because you pray over it. You ask the Most High to bless it. Now it's not abominable anymore. Where is that in the scriptures? Okay. Where in the scriptures can you make something that was an abomination no longer an abomination? Show me that in scriptures and we'll pack up, as we said. That'll be it for us. We got to listen. That's not in the scriptures. Right? Give me Ecclesiastes. It's 7:13. Yeah.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 13.
Come on.
Consider the work of the Most High.
Right.
For who can make that straight which he hath made crooked?
Right. Who can change what the Most High has made? If he says something is unclean, who can make it clean? If he says something is an abomination, who can say no, it's no longer an abomination? No one. Nothing can do that. Read that verse again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 13.
Consider
the work of the Most High.
Come on.
For who can make that straight which he had made crooked?
If he made it crooked, he made it off, it's off. And you can't make it on. Right? Read on.
Verse 14. In the day of prosperity, be joyful. But in the day of adversity, consider.
Right. Just consider the Most High always. Go back now to Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 4. These are the beasts which ye shall eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the hart, and the roebuck, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the pygarg, and the wild ox, and the chamos, and every beast that parted the hoof, and cleaved the cleft into 2 claws, and took the cut among the beasts, that ye shall eat.
Right, so that's the criteria for the animals that you can eat. Part of the hoof, chew of the cut, cloven-footed, part of the cleft. Their hoof is parted, right? They have that nail above the hoof, and they chew the cud. Those are the 3 criteria. Most High, when he created the beasts, he marked the beasts that can be eaten and which one cannot be eaten. And he marked them by what? Their hoof, their cleft, and their ability to chew the cud. He decided which beast is going to be eaten and not eaten when he was creating the beasts. Okay? Who could go back to creation and say Most High was wrong? Okay? For you to eat unclean meat, you're basically saying the Most High, when he marked these animals with these attributes, right? He didn't know what he was doing. Right? Kosher pork, right? Yeah. Who can make clean what is made, what is unclean? Right? Read on.
Verse 7. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore, they are unclean unto you.
Right, they eat camel ham. How many nations, they'll tear that camel up. They eat it, and they don't even cook it. That special, I saw that special on TV. They make some sauce, and they eat it with some sauce, and they don't cook it. And you see the guy, what's that eater might be one of Strange Foods? Yeah. That bald-headed guy, and he's in there eating it, and you can tell by the look on his face that that thing is awful. But he said, yeah, it's a different taste. I said, man, you wicked. That thing is awful. And Ham was just dead eating it up like it's all good. They got the head of the camel still sitting on the counter. And they thought it was all good. It's Strange Foods. That shows Strange Foods. Right? So we're sure that these nations have been doing this and they still doing it. They still eat cattle. The popular thing down here in Florida is what? Alligator, right? They eat alligator. Now you know you're not supposed to eat no alligator. That ain't nothing but a big lizard, man. Right? You know you ain't supposed to eat that. Oh, alligator tail, that's good. Tastes just like chicken. So they eat chicken. They're always talking about something tastes just like chicken. Okay? So let's not get involved in these things. Okay? A lot of people from Miami or eat the alligator stuff, man. Read on.
Verse 9. Verse 8. And the swine, because it divided the hoof,
right?
Yet chewed not the cud. It is unclean unto you.
It is what?
It is unclean unto you.
Read.
Ye shall not eat of their flesh,
right?
Nor touch their dead carcass.
We ain't supposed to eat of their flesh, nor wear the pigskin. Right? When you get those cheap leather, it might be pigskin. You better check the label. Okay. Pigskin is used in a lot of different ways. Okay. Football, they all toss the pigskin. Old school footballs, pigskin. Okay. Leather, cheap leather in the car, pigskin. Okay. So keep that in mind. We try to avoid that pigskin. Okay. What is avoidable? You might get on a bus and that might be pigskin on the bus seat. You ain't got no control over that. You know what I mean? But whenever you have control and you have foreknowledge, you avoid these things. Huh?
Stand up. You saw some down.
Verse 9. These ye shall eat of all that are in the waters. All that have fins and scales shall ye eat. And whatsoever hath not fins and scales ye may not eat. It is unclean unto you.
Right, so that's why I brought up about the alligator. It doesn't have fins and scales, it's in the water. You can't eat them. Okay? Shrimp, lobster, can't eat them. Right? He'll tell you that on the inside. It said check the label. It'll tell you. You know what I mean? All the time, you know, you get yourself a real nice leather jacket for about $50. You're like, let me check this, because that's a little extra cheap. You know what I mean? You might say this might be a better deal. Somebody may give you a 649 right there. You know what I mean? So check that deal. That deal might be too good. Right? If you think it's too good, gotta check it. But there's certain areas where you don't have control, like sneakers. More than likely, a lot of these sneakers is fake skin, but how are you gonna tell? You know what I mean? They ain't gonna tell you that in that label. They don't tell you what the sneaker's made out of. You know what I mean? So, in certain instances, like I said, when you have the foreknowledge and you have the ability to know, once you find out, avoid it. That's all you can do.
You know, they make those things in cheap places, like less than $2.
Yeah. So they're going to use whatever cheap product they can get their hands on. Right? It's about profit. It's not about, things being genuine. It's about profit. Okay? Let's read on.
Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 11. And all clean birds ye shall eat, but these are they of which ye shall not eat: the eagle, and the osprey, and the osprey, and the glebe, and the kite, and the vulture after his kind, and every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cacao, and the hawk after his kind, right? The little owl, and the great owl, and the swan.
Right, so what's a swan? That's duck, man. You can't eat keeping duck. Is that what it's called? Peking duck. You can't eat that. Okay? Leave that duck alone. All right. Duck is not for us to be eaten. All right. And as well as all the ostrich eggs. You might go to one of the fancy restaurants and they say they only have gourmet ostrich eggs. So you keep that. All right? You know, egg the size of your head. Yeah, that's disgusting. Read.
Verse 17. And the pelican, and the jeer eagle, and the cormorant,
yeah,
and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat, and every creeping thing that flieth is unclean unto you.
Right.
They shall not be eaten.
So all these things cannot be the creeping thing that flies. That means it goes on all fours when it flies. Not to be eaten. Okay, read.
Verse 20. But of all clean fowls you may eat, you shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in the gates, that he may eat it.
That he may do what?
That he may eat it.
That he may do what?
That he may eat it.
That's right. Get to him to eat that thing. Right? You just change everything in your gates, these other nations. You know, Moab eat anything anyway. So I mean, Moab, man, they'll throw some salt on anything and eat it, man. A couple of herbs and make a soup out of anything. Right? So give it to them, they'll eat it. But back in the days, they had a commercial, Mikey, give it to Mikey. Right? That's like Moab, right? Just give it to them, man. They'll just eat that thing. Who remembers that? You gotta have some age when you remember that, though. Yeah, you gotta have some age when you remember Mikey. Yeah. You remember that little shit. Yeah. You gotta be a little bit long in the tooth to know that right there. It's about cereal, man. No. Oh, did he die? I don't know. It's soda? I don't know. You gotta tell me about that. You probably did because he was eating everything. I think it was a Kicks commercial, right? Kicks cereal? Life cereal? Okay. Yeah, man. Wow.
I think it was terrible.
Yeah, that light shit was awful.
Even frosted.
We don't.
Verse 21. You shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates.
Wait, here we 20. But all clean fowls you may eat? I didn't remember you saying that. Okay. All right, read 21 again.
Verse 21. Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat it. For thou mayest sell it unto an alien. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Thou shalt not seek the kid in his mother's milk.
Thou shalt not what?
Thou shalt not seek the kid in his mother's milk.
What does that mean? You should not seek the kid in his mother's milk. Yeah, talking about Bill, right? Talking about young cat. That's nursing. That's right. Nursing.
You can't eat milk. You can't eat meat and drink milk at the same time.
That's what Esau said to that. That's why Esau don't have no cheese on their hamburger. Right? Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, they sell Bill all over the place. They try to give it to your children in school. They always try to push Bill on somebody. Somebody trying to eat that Bill, Parmesan. Anybody eat that Bill? Okay, how much Parmesan you put on it? I ain't eating that thing. That thing is off. Because the mother is still nursing the calf. The mother nurses the calf, I think, what, about 5 months? I have to look that up. I think it's about 5 months. And after that, then it's fair game. You know what I mean? Chickens don't nurse, but I think the concept of the reasoning behind it still applies. Not to eat the animal before it's fully grown, before it reaches a growth that it can feed. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Most High blesses with an animal, right? The animal comes out small. You want the animal to grow so then you can eat it and it can feed, you know, you get more food out of this animal. You eat the animal when it's still all small, it's a waste. That animal is going to grow. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times you got to look at the spiritual meaning behind these thoughts. What would be the purpose of not eating the baby animal? Because the baby animal needs to grow and develop and become more mature. Then you can eat of it, right? And then it can feed more people, right? But we care the life of our beasts. Even though they're food, we still care for their life. We still respect that when we put this animal to death, that you're going to feed multiple people. It's a blessing from the Most High. So we don't want to be greedy or be not patient and be killing the beast when it's still a baby. Right? So I would say, yeah, I would stay away from killing the beast when it's a baby, man. Eat any beast and eat it. It should be of some edible age. Okay, somewhat grown. Right?
Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 22.
What's that thing called? Escargot? That's a snail, not that thing. What about thinking of? Caviar. Right? Fish eggs. Don't eat the fish eggs. Eat the fish, not the fish eggs. Okay? There's no reason to be putting fish eggs on your crab. Right? You just want to be disgusting. Okay? That's Esau's delicacies, man. That's his spirit. Let's eat the egg before it becomes a fish. Let's do that. Yeah. Well, chicken eggs are not fertilized. Man, when you get chicken eggs are not fertilized. Oh, I would hope so. I would think so. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I got to do some research on that. What is it? I don't know. You can look it up. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the information to look at. Right. You have freezing? Oh, okay. While they're in the water or something like that? Yeah. Oh, okay. And when it comes to eating eggs, chicken eggs, those eggs are not fertilized. Those eggs are not going to become a chicken. They're going to be an egg and they're going to die. right? They're going to be, come rotten. So you eat them because it's not going to become something else. You see what I'm saying? They have turkey chicken now. The chicken is fertilized. If you crack open a fertilized egg, you know it looks different, right? You will see blood in there. You will see a line of blood. You see a line of red in the egg. I've seen that before. You crack the egg open, you're going to see a line of red. That means that egg was been fertilized. Can I eat that egg? Right? Can't eat that egg. I throw that one out. So if you see a red line in there, it means that egg is been fertilized. Okay? You see a little red line of blood in there. All right? So stay away from that one. Okay?
Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 22. Thou shalt surely tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year. And thou shalt eat before Yahweh thy power in the place which he shall choose to place his name there.
Right, so he said, you shall surely tithe what? Your field, right? The increase of your field, the food, why? Why would you tithe his food? Why would you tithe his food? Well, we do it because Most High, this is the law to do it, because the 10% belongs to the Most High. And that 10% fed the Levites. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't about the Levites first, it was about the Most High first. And Levi got the benefit of the 10% that you were giving on to the Most High. You understand that? Right? It wasn't necessarily just for them. We give it to the Most High, and the Most High says, give it to my Levites. Okay? So we giving that. So when you give that 10%, understand you're giving that to the Most High. That's a thought pattern you gotta have. You can't say I'm just giving it to my Levi brothers. Why if you got an issue with Levi this week? You don't want to give your 10%? Levi ain't getting nothing. You see what I'm saying? So you're giving it to the Most High. Levi happen to be the beneficiary. Right? It's not a gift to Levi. It's a gift to Levi from the Most High. You giving it to the Most High. The Most High giving it to Levi. You understand that?
Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 22. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed that the field bringeth forth year by year. And thou shalt eat before Yahweh thy power in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. The tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, of thy oil, and the firstlings of thy herds, and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear Yahweh thy power always. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which Yahweh thy power shall choose to set his name there.
Right, so when we're going to go bring the 10%, it's too far for you to carry all that you have for your offering. Let's see what you do, you know?
Yeah, verse 24. If the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which Yahweh thy power shall choose to set his name there, when Yahweh thy power hath blessed thee, then shalt thou turn it into money, and bind up the money in thine hand, and shall go into the place which Yahweh thy power shall choose, and thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusted after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desired, and thou shalt eat there before Yahweh thy power, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thy household, and the Levite that is within thy gates. Thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath not no part nor inheritance with thee. At the end of 3 years thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of thy increase the same year, and shall lay it up within thy gates. Right? And the Levite, because he had no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come, and shall eat and be satisfied, that Yahweh thy power may bless thee all the work of thy hand which thou doest.
Deuteronomy. So we know that is a statute that we took care of what needed to be given by way of tithes to the tribe of Levi. And it's a statute forever, in all our dwellings. I saw a question right here. Okay, go.
Stranger, verse 29.
Uh-huh.
That same stranger, verse 21. Right?
Right. No, this is like from another tribal land, or whatever the case may be. So we make sure we took care of them as well, because they wouldn't have any inheritance in their value. If I'm a stranger in the land of Naphtali and I'm a Benjamite, I'm a stranger to the land of Naphtali, because my heritage is back in Benjamin. You know what I mean? So I'm considered a stranger in that land. But I'm a Hebrew. I'm part of the nation. So they got to take care of me. You know what I mean? So that's what that's talking about. All right.
Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 1. Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 1. At the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lendeth ought not to his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called Yahweh's release.
Right. So this is where Esau gets in his law. Supposed to be debt forgiveness after 7 years.
Right.
According to the creditor, your credit company. What they do, though, to circumvent their own law, they'll sell your debt to someone else, and then someone else is going to contact you. Once they contact you, guess what? You no longer have the debt with the first person. You have a debt with them now, and they start the time over. You see that? It's only supposed to last 7 years. They're supposed to fall off your record. Right. Where did they get that from? Right out of our scriptures.
That's right.
Okay? They got it out of our scriptures as what? For any civilized nation, we need to have laws like that in place to keep the commerce circulating, keep money circulating, not getting stagnant. Because when money gets stagnant, then there's no use. It has to keep moving. Right? That's a little bit of economics. The money has to keep moving, or the economic will fall apart. Okay? So, just so it didn't say stagnant, if you owe it for 7 years, all right, forget the debt, continue doing business. Okay? Esau now perverts every law that we have in our books. So he took that law, saw it, said it was good, but I'm going to pervert it by doing this. Let me sell your debt to someone else. Start the time. And then sell it to someone else. Start the time. Sell it again. Start the time. Before you know it, you've been owing the same people 20 years. How is that possible? Because they circumvent their own laws. Esau is such a liar, he lied to himself, man. He make rules up and jack his own people up. He don't care, but that's just the kind of spirit he got. He won't do things the right way. He won't do things the righteous way. Okay? We know.
Verse 3. Of a foreigner thou mayest exact it again, but that which is thine with thy brother thine hand shall release. Saying, when there shall be no poor among you.
Let's look at that. Hold on. For a foreigner, thou might exact it again. Meaning that if you're another nation, I ain't forgiving nothing after 7 years. You still got to pay my money. You still owe me. And you owe me for the rest of your life. Okay? And that Esau probably does that too. Because you know he deal with us differently than he deal with his own. Especially when you deal with Amalek. Amalek have their own banks, they own everything, because they probably deal business correctly with each other. But if a foreigner will come in there, they're going to tear you up. You're going to owe them for the rest of your life. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 4. Say, when there shall be no poor among you, for Yahweh shall greatly bless thee the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all these commandments which I command thee this day. For Yahweh thy power blesseth thee, as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations.
Right.
But thou shalt not borrow.
That's the key right there, man. He said, we shall lend unto many nations, but we shall not borrow. Who's in better condition, the lender or the borrower? The lender. Because you have enough, you have excess, you have as much as you need, and you have enough to give to lend someone else. You're in a lot better condition than the borrower. Okay? So that's what we're supposed to be on high, above. We're supposed to be the lenders. They're supposed to borrow from us. But nowadays, we so bad, we can't even get them to lend to us. We can't even get the loan. That's how far we fell. We went from being a borrower to now we can't get a, we went from being a lender to now we can't even borrow. They say, I don't know, your credit's not good enough. You know?
Verse 6. For Yahweh thy power blessed thee, as he promised thee. And thou shalt lend to many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. And thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee.
Man, that's a blessing right there. We're going to reign over them, rule over them, and they going to rule over us. Of course, we know the exact opposite happened, but it sounds good. Right, read on.
Verse 7. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy land, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother.
Right.
But thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need, and that which he wanteth. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and thine eye be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him not, and he cry unto Yahweh against thee, and it be sin unto thee. Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him.
Right. You know.
Because that for this thing, Yahweh thy power shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thine hand into. For the poor shall never cease out of thy land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in the land. And if thy brother in Hebrew man or in Hebrew woman be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. And when thou sendest him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty.
Right.
Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, and out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress, of that wherewith Yahweh thy power hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. And thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in the land of Egypt,
right?
And Yahweh thy power redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this thing today. And it shall be, when he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee in thy house, because he is well with thee, then thou shalt take it all and thrust it through his ear.
Take it what?
Take it all and thrust it through his ear.
So that's like an earring that you put, you pierce his ear with this special type of earring, you know,
unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. And also unto thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise. It shall not seem hard unto thee, and thou sendest him away free from thee. For he hath been worth a double hired servant to thee, in serving thee 6 years, and Yahweh thy power shall bless thee in all that thou doest. All the firstling males that come of thy herd and of thy flock.
All right, stop right there. So we got to look at that lending and giving. We got to give to one another, man. As we deal with each other and we see there's need, we can't hold back. Okay? That's part of being a nation that we help one another. Give me Ecclesiastes 29, verse 1.
Sirach, chapter 29, verse 1. He that is merciful will lend unto his neighbor, and he that strengtheneth his hands keepeth the commandments. Lend to thy neighbor in time of his need,
right?
And pay thou thy neighbor again in due season.
Come on.
Keep thy word and deal faithfully with him.
Right. So we're supposed to be what? Supposed to be trustworthy. Keep our word, deal faithful with each other. when we lend one another, not be afraid to lend your brother, lend your sister. And if you got to lend something, don't forget the address, right? Don't forget where it came from. And make sure that you pay it back in due season. All that is of Yah, it's of the Torah. You know, we're not free to do whatever we want to do when it comes to this topic. We're supposed to be given and receive it and then pay it back in due season. Read on.
Keep thy word and deal faithfully with him, and thou shalt always find the thing that is necessary for thee. Many, when a thing was lent them, reckoned it to be found, and put them to trouble that helped them.
Right?
Till he hath received, he will kiss a man's hand, and for his neighbor's money he will speak submissively. But when he should repay, he will prolong the time, and return words of grief, and complain of the time. If he prevail, he shall hardly receive the half, and he will count as if he had found it. If not, he had deprived him of his money, and he had gotten him an enemy without cause. He paid him with cursings and railings,
Right?
and for honor he will pay him disgrace.
Right, so this is the problem that we end up a lot. That instead of you lending somebody and paying back on time and they thank you, you lend somebody, they forget the address and they ask you why you robbing them. Right? Why do you want that thing back that lent? That's all. Yeah, but I'm not going to do that. I know what you're talking about. All right, before I now or the other, right? Yeah. All right, so let's go back to Deuteronomy. I just want to get scripture on lending. Right.
Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 18. Deuteronomy chapter 15 verse 18. It shall not seem hard unto thee when thou sendest him away, free from thee, for he hath been worth a double hired servant to thee, and served thee 6 years. And Yahweh thy power shall bless thee in all that thou doest.
Right.
All the firstling males that come of thy herd and of thy flock, thou shalt sanctify unto Yahweh thy power. Thou shalt do no work with the firstling of thy bullock, nor shear the firstling of thy sheep. Thou shalt eat it before Yahweh thy power year by year in the place which Yahweh shall choose, thou and thy household. And if there be any blemish therein, as if it be lame or blind, or have any ill blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice it unto Yahweh thy power. Thou shalt eat it within thy gates. The unclean and the clean person shall eat it alike, as the roebuck and as the hart. Only thou shalt not eat the blood thereof. Thou shalt pour it upon the ground as water.
We go back to 16.
Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto Yahweh thy power. For in the month of Abib, Yahweh thy power brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto Yahweh thy power of the flock and the herd, and in the place which Yahweh shall choose to place his name there.
Right, come on.
Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction, for thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou comest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coasts 7 days. Neither shall there anything of the flesh which thou sacrificest the first day at even remain all night until the morning.
Right.
Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, but at the place which Yahweh thy power shall choose,
right,
to place his name there. There thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even.
Right, so we got to do it in the right place at even, just the way he prescribed it to be done. You know?
At the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. And thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which Yahweh thy power shall choose. Right. Thou shalt turn in the morning and go unto thy tents. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day shall be a solemn assembly to Yahweh thy power.
Right.
Thou shalt do no work therein. 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto Yahweh thy power, with a tribute of a free will offering of thine hand, unto which thou shalt give unto the hand, which thou shalt give unto the Yahweh thy power.
What is a tribute of a free will offering? What is that? Anybody? The tribute of a free will offering?
Something that you're getting without asking for it.
Right. So he said you shall give it along with the tribute. What's a tribute? What's that? Not really. Out of respect or out of rulership, right? This tribute to be given. So who would give a tribute? Or who would give it? Nah, let's read it again. Read that part again. Tribute to free will offering.
Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 10. Thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto Yahweh thy power, with a tribute of a free will offering of thine hand, which thou shalt give unto Yahweh thy power, according as Yahweh thy power hath blessed thee.
Right, so what is that? It's a gift. It's a gift aside from the offering. Right? It's a free will gift along with your offerings. Also, give a tribute. Okay, there's your normal offering that's prescribed. Above your normal offering, give your tribute. Give a gift. Give something to commemorate this high holiday and what it means. So along with your offerings, there was tributes that was given. It was free will offerings that were given. Okay? All right, so read on.
Verse 11, thou shalt rejoice before Yahweh thy power, thou and thy son and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gate, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are among you.
Even the stranger had to give tribute, right? They had to pay too. They're among us. Right, we know.
In the place which Yahweh thy power had chosen to place his name there. And thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in Egypt, and thou shalt observe and do these statutes. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. After that, thou hast gathered thy corn and thy wine, and thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite, the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are within thy gates.
Right. 7
days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto Yahweh thy power.
And that's what we're getting ready for, right? Where you at now?
15.
Right. Tabernacle, 7 days. Keep this solemn feast, right? You know?
Unto Yahweh thy power, in the place which Yahweh shall choose, because Yahweh thy power shall bless thee in all thine increase, and in all the works of thy hand. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. Verse 16, 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before Yahweh thy power,
right,
in the place which he shall choose,
right,
in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before Yahweh empty.
Right, we should not come empty. So get ready for this tabernacle. Keep that law in mind that we got to bring, everybody got to contribute to what the festivities are going to be throughout the whole week during this tabernacle. And, you know, be prepared to contribute. You know what I mean? And see what you can get that all, not just content could indulge in, but that the whole congregation can indulge in. Okay? Read on. Last verse.
Verse 17. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of Yahweh, thy power, which he hath given thee.
Right, so we can never tell somebody how much of what they can bring, because everybody that will bring is how they was blessed by the Most High God. Some was blessed with a lot, we bring a lot. Some was blessed with a little, bring a little. But always consider the whole camp, the whole congregation when you bring what you bring. Okay, that brings us to the end of the portion. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh, praise it. So at this point in time, we're gonna deal with the preparation for the new moon, which is gonna be Monday night. Okay, Monday night, new moon. We're gonna go over the preparation for the tabernacle, making sure everybody's good for the tabernacle. Okay. Let's start with this question. Who has rented their tent for the tabernacle? Okay, I see some new hands. Israel, you rent your tent? Huh? Who's in your tent? You and Yahusah? Isaac? Yahusah? The three of y'all? And Kadash, 4. Okay. Chef, who's in your tent? Cocoa Beach, Ephraim, okay. No, it's Malahak. Where's Yakanai?
Klein Curtin. Rule number 1.
You in the tent? That's kill. So,
yeah.
in TP? I think I changed. Okay, hallelujah. Who's still waiting on doing their tent thing? Zion. Who else don't have a tent? Zion. I'm one.
I said low.
Guys, are you in a tent? Oh, we got it. Yeah, oh, yeah, we got it. We're gonna put. I gotta go to mission for Gaza. We're gonna work on that this week. We're gonna take care of that this week. Okay. Well, it seems like everybody. This is what everybody's accounted for when it comes to the tent. Zion, number one, they gotta get on the ball, man. You know, at least get it for 1 day or 2 days. You know, you gotta get that tent, get that business done. All right. What? Yeah, at least the Shabbat weekend, you know, at least the Saturday and Sunday. Everything's out there. All right, so it's like everybody, it's like everybody pretty much have the intent. You just got to deal with Gaza and see what's going on. Most likely Gaza is going to be what number 1 in Zion. Seems so. It's going to bring you out. Huh?
6 to 7 days.
That's the what?
Weekend.
The weekend is the 6, 7, 8, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? All right. So those are the first 3 days you want to get, 6, 7, and 8 of October. Okay? The 6th, the 7th, and 8th of October is the first 3 days you want to rent. If you can't rent all the days, at least rent those 3 days. So you lock down your tent for the Shabbat the day after. All right? What's that? The 7th?
Yeah, Saturday.
Okay. If you only do one day, get that day. Right. On top of that, we're going to do events. We'll talk about the events next week. Matter of fact, we'll talk about the events come new moon evening. When is the new moon? Monday, sundown. When's the new moon? All right, so let's go through the preparation. But during that new moon, we'll talk about the events, what you guys want to see happen at the tabernacle, how we can organize a week of events that will take place. We do it now. When we get out there, then everybody should know. We'll put it on paper. Everybody should know what we got going on. We're not going to put too many things, just a few things. But when everybody knows what's going on, so nobody's wondering, what are we doing today? What are we doing today? You know? So we have events for each day while we're out there. Okay. We're going to do the preparation now for the new moon. Who's going to scribe? All right, I'm just going to scribe it. Those of you online, got 5 viewers right now online. I just leave it up. All right, so starting with Lot. Nothing, I'm not going to leave it up. I'm going to say shalom to our brothers and sisters online. Okay, so we're going to go over preparation for the moon. Many of you are local, we will see you at the new moon and you can bring your donation at that time. Hallelujah.